Right. Let us start our today's class. Please share. So, is it visible to everyone? My screen is visible to you. Good. Thank you. All right. So quickly revise whatever we discussed in the previous classes, and then we'll move to the next important concepts of operating system. Right. So first of all, as far as concerned with Unit 1, we are supposed to learn about what is an operating system, what are the various types of operating systems, that is generations, and what exactly are the functionality of the operating system, the structure, and what kind of operations that it can perform. So these are all things we are supposed to discuss in this unit. Okay. So first of all, once again, we quickly revise what exactly. So first of all, we are aware of that what a modern computer should consist. So you might have observed all these things. One or more processors, memory, disks, printers, and various input-output devices. Right? So these are the different parts that you might have observed in our today's computer system. Okay. So we need just a minute. Sorry. We need to have someone who will look after all the all these parts. That means someone has supervised the activities which are going on with all these parts, right? So someone has controlled the processing time and the job that is going on. The job means that is how the process is going to be started and how it is going to be executed, and whenever if a problem has arrived, who is going to resolve it. Like all the operations that are performed by all these things can be monitored by someone, right? So not monitor or the person who will take care of all these things is called as operating system, right? So it's just simply managing all these components with the help of operating system. Now, let us look at about the definitions of the operating system, which we have already discussed previously. Just have a look at it. So if all of you observe this diagram, so we have monitor, we have hard disks, we have printers, we have keyboards, we have mouse, and we have different application programs. Okay? So operating system, you can imagine it is a centralized point which will coordinate or which will supervise the execution of or the functionality of all these things. Okay, so that is the reason why we are conscious. It acts as an interface between user of the computer system and the all these things, right? So you can observe the first definition. An operating system, or simply to call it the OS, is a low-level software that enables a user and high-level application software to interact with computer's hardware and the data and other programs stored on the computer. Right? Uh, that means I'll show you the diagram so that you can easily understand. So this is what here the user will try to use this operating system, or sorry, use the computer system either of these ways. Suppose if you develop a program, C program, for example, right? So how it will be executed internally? The C program is written in high-level language. System can understand only the information in the form of machine language. So we need to have a translator who will take care of converting C language instructions into system understandable format. For that, we have compiler, right? So with the help of compiler, we'll try to interact with the computer hardware with the help of operating system, because you cannot directly execute your instructions in the hardware itself. Okay, so this operating system will take care of passing your instructions to the hardware, and whatever the response given by this hardware components will again redirect to your place with the help of operating system. Okay, similarly for translation of assembly languages, word processors, databases, whatever. So user cannot directly interact with the hardware, so it can be done with the help of operating system. So that is the reason why the difference will be like this. It's a low-level software that enables a user and high-level application software. High-level application software in the sense, your C programming language is an application software, because which is meant for solving the user problems, right? So this application software to interact with the computer's hardware. Okay, so why we need to interact with the hardware? Because suppose if you want to store some data, where you can store this? You can store it in the disk. Okay. Suppose if you want to access something which is already stored in the memory, so how will you do that? Again with the help of, I mean, you are supposed to interact with the disk drive, from that you can extract. Right? So for all these things, what we have, because we don't have direct connection, we have a direct interaction to use the application software. In turn, this application software may require the services of, okay, so your application software may require the services of the printer, or the output may be displayed on the monitor, or it may be used in the memory storage area for storing some data, right? So it may any kind of operation that it requires. So that is the reason whatever the instruction that was given by the user with the help of this application software, okay, the operating system will take care of providing the services which are offered by the other hardware components, right? Uh, and another way you can define it as an operating system performs basic tasks such as recognizing the input from the keyboard, as I told you in the previous class. Recognizing the input from the keyboard. Suppose someone has typed something with the help of this keyboard, how it is going to be recognized when we are discussing about the block diagram of the computer. There, we understood how an input device is useful while giving the instructions, how the control unit is going to control all these things, right? So here also the whole thing will be done by the operating system. So the keyboard, whatever the data that you have entered through the keyboard, okay, so that information can be recognized with the help of voice. Okay, and similarly, transforming our output to the either monitor or a printer or some other output device, right? And meanwhile, before generating the output, after getting the input, uh, whatever the operations that it will be performed on files or directories or disks or some other peripheral devices, these all things will be controlled by operating system. So now what we understood is, according to these definitions, what we understood is, without operating system, you cannot use any one of the peripheral, or you cannot use any one of the hardware component which is present in the computer system. So in order to make utilize all these resources, one should have a software that is called as an operating system. So that is the reason why we are called as a resource manager. Hope you are all clear with this point or not. Somebody has raised a problem like that, voice is not clear. Now is it okay? Or otherwise I will change my place to get a good signal. Now is it clear, or how my voice is clear or not? So is it okay? Right. Right. So as far as concerned with this definition, everybody is clear or not? What exactly the definition of an operating system? Still, if you have any queries, you please drop a message, or you can raise the hand so that I'll discuss another example to explain the definition of an operating system. Right. Okay. If you are not clear with this content, yeah, you're all invited to share your opinion, because uh, yes, somebody. But if you have any query, immediately you can ask. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, similar kind of definition will be represented in some other ways. An operating system is a program that acts as an intermediary or an interface between a user of a computer and the computer hardware. Right? So that is the definition of operating system. Now, let us see uh, what is the goal or the objective of the operating system. So the first one is control or execute user or application programs. Second one is make the computer system convenient to use and ease the solving of user problems. And the last one is use the computer hardware in an efficient manner. So whatever the resources that are available in the computer system can be utilized in an efficient manner. For that purpose, we need to have one software. That is what we are calling as an operating system. So with this operating system, we can effectively use the computer hardware. Because, how can you say that is, uh, it should be constructed in such a way to permit the effective development, testing, and introduction of new system functions without the same time interfering with the service. That means, suppose if you want to develop a new application software or a new program itself, at least, okay. So in order to execute your program in the system, the OS helps you to utilize the hardware of your computer system, right? And efficiency. That is what efficiency means. Without wasting the time, we can, if we are able to utilize the services of the particular resource, then we can say that we are efficient. That means within less amount of time, if we are able to execute the maximum number of tasks, then we can say that we are effectively utilize the resources. Okay. And another important point is convenient to use. So everyone can easily or without feeling any difficulty to access the system. Okay. So that means suppose if you are new to the computer system, okay, when you switch on it with the help of the mouse or with the help of the keyboard, you can click on something. Okay. In such a way, you can easily use the system. And nothing will happen if you use it in a different direction. Right? So these are the different objectives of our operating system. Now, let us see what is an application programs and what is. Of course, uh, in section A, we have discussed all these things, and in section B, we have discussed a little bit about all these things. So that is the reason why I was added again this slide uh, in order to distinguish between application programs and OS. Right? So operating systems provides a software platform on top of which other programs or application programs can run. As I have shown you in the diagram, okay, these all whatever the names that we are able to observe, compiler of assembler, text editors, database systems. Of course, these two are comes under the category of system programs. So that is the reason here I have mentioned system and application programs, right? So here the database systems itself is called as an application program because by using this we are going to solve a variety of user problems. Okay, so when coming to the compilers and assemblers, these are all the system programs, right? So so that there is an operating system provide a software platform, one platform on top of which above that platform you can run a variety of programs. Those all programs are called as application programs. And the choice of operating system therefore determines to great extent the applications a user can run. Okay, so you can use or you can run a variety of application softwares on the operating system. For example, the DOS operating system contains commands such as copy and rename for copying files and changing the names of the files respectively. The same commands are accepted and executed by part of the operating system because copy the content of one file to another file. Where the content is resides, it was stored in the hard disk. So you need to extract the data from the storage device and again it will be placed with some other name in the same storage area. Maybe it is in the hard disk or it may be in pen drive or some other storage area. Okay, with a different name. But here the physical operation, if you are looking at it, we need to extract it from the storage area. Storage area is an hardware component. Okay, so in such a way, the operating system utilizes or it provides an interface between the hardware components and the user. Similarly, the Unix operating system has commands like CP for copying and MB to move. Okay, like that, a similar kind of commands are also be present in the Unix also, right? So that is the reason these are all softwares, in order to execute all these softwares in a proper way, we need to have the operating system, right? So now let us see the role of operating system. And you are aware of that. And the total computer system can be divided into four components. One is hardware, application programs, users, and operating system. Okay. So hardware means CPU, memory, I/O devices. These all are comes under the category of hardware. Basically, we are calling it as a resource, which are available in the computer system. Okay. So application programs are define the way in which the system resources are used to solve the computing problems of the users, right? So that means using same example, if you write a C program for addition of two numbers, that is the user problem. So in order to add two numbers, we need to have the services of the off-order and all. Okay, so these all things will be utilized with the help of operating system. Similarly, the web browsers, word processing, and all. So when users, that means people or some other machine may use the services of you, this particular system, okay, and operating. Just simply, you just remember this word. It controls and coordinates use of hardware among various applications and users. Among various applications and users. This is very important point that you need to remember as far as concerned with the operating system. Okay, what it does is it controls and coordinates the use of hardware among various applications and users. Right? So, point one should remember. So this is the static view. This is the static view of the components of the computer system. If you see in the dynamic view, okay. So what usually user will give? Either he may give some input or he may expect some output, right? So through what way you can supply the input to the system? Anything with the help of application software. Suppose if you want to develop a Word document, what you can do? You just open the new Word document. What is it? It is an application software, right? So and then so you want to type something. What do you require? You need to have the input device. Okay. For that, in order to access your input device, simply call a keyboard. You need to have the what we can call it as permission, or you need to have the help of operating system to type something. Because we may not observe what is happening internally, right? Whenever if you are opening a new Word document, the cursor is blinking on it, you can start typing whatever you want. That is only the thing which you know. But in the background, whatever the keys that you have pressed or whatever the information that you have typed, that can be recognized. That can be recognized by the operating system with some other resources, right? So, so internally what happens is, whatever the input that you have supplied to the application software, in turn it made a request to the operating system in order to execute it. So then the hardware operating system will pass it to the hardware components, right? So physically they will execute, whatever the instruction given by this operating system, according to that, it will work on it and it produce the results. To whom it produce the results? Simply, it produces results to the operating system. And then the operating system will redirect those outputs to the application software. And application software finally, it will pass it to the user. So in such a way, dynamically, what is happening internally. So here you can observe everything, and at every stage, everything will be happen abstraction. That means what is happening internally you don't have any idea about it. Just simply what we are expecting and probably what way it is going to be executed. Yes. Only the thing. This is only the thing which we understand, right? So if you want to look at out this particular one in the layer format, okay, application programs, utilities, operating system, and the lowest level is computer hardware. All right. So okay, nothing else. Just simply all these three diagrams are same. They want to depict the same kind of information. Only the structure or the way which we represent is different. Okay. So that is about what exactly the operating system. Right. Still, if you have any queries, you please ask me. Otherwise, I'll go to the next one that is called as the functions of operating system. Is it clear to everybody? What exactly an operating system? Still, if you have any queries, you please drop a message in the chat box. Anybody? No query? Okay. So if no one is responding, that means nobody is having any query. Okay? All right. Yeah. So now let us see what are the functions of operating system. This is very important. What kind of functions that it will be performed. Uh, First one is processor management. Processor management. Just a minute. Process means program in execution is known as a process. Whatever the thing which you wanted to perform with the computer system itself, it is nothing but a single process. Right? So in that, as far as concerned with the process management, what is the role of operating system is creation of the process, deletion, and suspension of the process. So these three will be done. These three things are the responsibilities of the operating system. Suppose if you want to start creation of new application, right? So you need to have the OS support, right? If you want to delete a file, or you want to temporarily suspend the execution of the process, okay? For all these things will be done with the help of OS. And next, allocates the processor to a process. Allocates the processor, that means CPU time to the process. That means, suppose say for example, simple example you just remember, when you click on 10 times on the Google Chrome icon which is appeared on your desktop, continuously, just clicking. Because what happens is, even myself also, when I click on this, if it was open then fine, otherwise what I will do, continuously I'll click on it. What usually I thought, I was clicked only once. But internally what happens, whatever the number of times that you press on the, by placing the mouse pointer on the particular icon, that much of web pages are opened. Okay, first one. Then when you continuously, when you click on the icon, each and every time, internally what happens, a new process has created. Okay, so that process wants the services of the CPU for execution. So at a time, we cannot run all the applications. At any given point of time, we are able to run only one process at a time. So that is the reason all these processes are placed in a queue. placed in a queue. So in data structure, you studied about the queue. What is the queue operation? First come, first serve, right? Whatever the element that is entered into the queue, that will be processed first. And next, when you go for theater where you want to purchase tickets, what is the process? You need to be standing on the queue itself. So whoever stands first in the queue will get the first chance to purchase the first ticket. Right? In the similar way here also. So all these processes are placed in the queue itself. So whatever the process which is present in the first position of the queue will be processed first. That is what we are calling it as allocates the processor, that is CPU, to a process. After executing it, so deallocates the processor when a process is no longer required. So very soon we are going to be discussing in detail about all these process management. And then you just remember every process will gets executed or gets finished its execution with the help of CPU. Okay, so there it is an important concept, the scheduling and all. Okay, and provides synchronization for process communication. So synchronization. The same way, how one process is going to be executed and how it is going to interact with other process, these all things will be supervised by the operating system. And it provides a mechanism for deadlock handling, as I told you in the class, deadlock. Okay, with the same resources, this uh, uh, if two or more processes are required to access the same resource which is already used by which are already used by the some other process, right? So here the OS is having such kind of deadlock handling mechanism in the process. So this is one of the important functionality of the processor. I mean operating system. Okay, and memory management. So memory management means it refers to the management of primary memory or the main memory. Memory or main, both of them are same. Uh, Management of primary means main memory is a large array of words or bytes, where each word or byte has its own address. As you know, whenever we are creating a variable in the C language, as you know, for each and every variable, it allocates, the compiler allocates a memory space according to its data set. So for each and every location, you have the address, right? So main memory provides a faster storage that can be accessed directly by the CPU. As you are aware of that, there is a direct connectivity between CPU and main memory. Okay, not with secondary storage, only primary memory. Right? So that what happens, whatever the content which is present in the uh, main memory gets a chance of utilizing the services of CPU. So as you studied in C language, storage classes, there are 4 types of storage classes: static, register, external, right? So what is the need of all these things? They are only different the storage area and the executable, right? Nothing else. All of them are variables. Suppose if you declare a variable as a register, what happens in that case? They'll get first opportunity when compared with other storage areas, because it has a direct connectivity to the CPU. Okay, and what are the activities that are done by the operating system as far as concerned with the memory management is? First one is it keeps the tracks of primary memory. That means how much of memory is available, what are the processes are currently executed. Okay, So these all things will be supervised, and what of it are used by whom, what parts are not used. That is availability of the space, and allocates the memory when a process requests, because some of them are already in pipeline. So it is our responsibility to allocate space for it, right? So that could be done. First part is, first it maintains some information regarding the used space and the available space, and second one is, based on the available space, it will allocate the memory to the requested processes. Okay, and deallocates the memory when the process is no longer needs it or has been terminated. Right? So these are the two important functionalities of the operating system. We'll see the remaining things in the next class. Okay. So now, if you have any queries, you please drop it on the chat box. If anybody is having any queries regarding the definition or definition part, or uh, the functionalities of, I mean, not functionality, what is the job of operating system. So if anybody is not clear with these points, you can ask the question.